In this video, I'll tell you a little bit about the reflection journal and notebook assignment. You can, of course, locate the relevant links on Blackboard. On the left-hand side, underneath the Assignments tab, you'll find this will be the first thing that pops up right above any quizzes and other assignments. And so in this video, I'll try to say a little bit about what I expect and how to do well. So the first thing that I would recommend is that you take very careful notes over the course of the class. So please take notes on your course readings and on the videos. And this really is vital for an online class. Obviously, it's important for every class, but I think it's especially true in the case of the online classes. When you have your notes are going to help you with your exams and your quizzes, etc. Everything is take home. Well, that's sort of obviously true. Everything is open book. So it's an open book exam. All of your exams are open book exams, as are your quizzes. They're going to require you to do some thinking. If you've done some of that thinking already ahead of time in your study, then your notes will reflect that, and this will help you do well during your quizzes. It's going to be vital that you take notes for a variety of reasons, but taking an online class is extremely difficult. You really are kind of on your own with a lot of this, and so when you're taking the notes, you'll be working on this will be your way of engaging with the material, with study. It'll help you study. It's a way to absorb the material more effectively, etc. It's just going to be much easier than simply reading the text. I guess it should be obvious, but I will advise you to print the course readings out and have a hard copy and mark the text as you're reading, etc. You can save it to an electronic device. Maybe you have a way of marking a PDF electronically, but paper is still very useful. And also, when you're taking the exams and quizzes, then you'll have the materials right there in front of you on your desk. So, okay, so let's talk about the journal entries. So, the journal entries are an extension of your note-taking process. So, you're going to need to write about 3 times a week. And I'm hoping that these entries will be between 150 and 400 words. Obviously, the mechanics, well, maybe not so obviously. I hope that the mechanics of these things are that you pay attention to them so that you write grammatically, that you write in a way that's free of spelling errors, etc. And please proofread your work before submitting it. So I think it's probably a mistake to type directly into the window on Blackboard. Do your initial draft somewhere else, maybe by hand or in a word processing application like Word or something, and then cut and paste into the Blackboard window. So that'll allow you to produce more polished work, I think. Okay, so what should you write about? So the entries that here can be, I'm just going to expand this a little bit. There you go. So the entries can be personal, but they should be related to logic and critical thinking. So this is intended to be a private space for you. I mean, obviously I'll read it, but it won't be shared with the rest of the class. But obviously within reason. So stick to the topic, stick to the material, stick to the content, the logic and critical thinking stuff. So the entries should arise from what you're thinking about the material we're studying. So this, of course, will be your comments, your written work, but later on it could be the more formal work. So the practice of formal proofs, the tree proofs, the direct proofs, the indirect proofs, etc. Um, and the argument mapping exercises, the truth tables, and so on. All that stuff. If you want to include that, that's great. Um, if you want to flag things that you're having difficulty with, I'd encourage that. If you're going to do it, though, don't just type in, I don't understand, for example, what statistical independence is, but try and figure it out and document your attempt to figure it out. So, how how are you gonna find this out for yourself? Figure out the answer. What resources did you go to? And just generally, how did you try to improve your understanding of the material? And I'll comment and I'll jump in occasionally if you're really stuck. But I want to see you try to figure it out for yourself first. And this is a good venue for this. And this is a way that I can reward those efforts through grading the journals. Um, I let's see. Yeah, so describe ways that you've applied the material to your own experience. If you disagree with something that's happening in the class or something we're talking about, then this is a venue for you to challenge what you're encountering. And also, it's a venue for you to reflect on and extend your discussion of what's going on in the public discussion groups. Maybe you're not entirely comfortable um, going into some aspect of the discussion in the with other students. You can do that in the private journal. Okay, so what makes for a good journal entry? So good entries, of course, are going to demonstrate that you understand the content of the course, that you're working to understand the content of the course. They're going to indicate that you can integrate what you're learning and apply it to other contexts. Maybe that also that you could explain what we're studying to someone else, etc. So good entries are going to include examples, and the examples should come from some knowledge or experiences that you bring to the course. Um, Insofar as you're using outside resources, I need to see how they connect in meaningful ways with what you're learning here in this class. And yeah, if you can do that, that'd be great. And those would be the marks of good journal entries. Bad journal entries, well, if they're poorly written, if they're robotic, obviously if they're plagiarized, or if there's some other form of academic dishonesty, those would be bad. Um, Really, the killers will be journal entries that exhibit some of the failures of reasoning that we're studying in the course, or if they exhibit, the kinds of vices that we're trying to fight against in a course like this. Okay, so that's what would make for a bad journal entry. So, just practically speaking, I'm not going to accept a large number of journal entries uploaded towards the end of the semester. You've got to be posting regularly as we proceed throughout the semester. We won't be on a strict schedule. I won't require a certain um, minimum number per week, but you should aim for 18 total entries from this point in the semester. This is the end of the first week onwards. So that's what I'm looking for. I'm not going to be able to comment on every journal entry. That would be simply too much given all the other things that we're working on in the class. But I will read them and I will occasionally jump in and help you if you're really struggling, or, give you kudos if things are going really, really well. But if I don't comment, it's not because I don't think that your entry was good or interesting, etc., etc. So don't worry if I don't comment. Okay, so that's a lot. So good luck and enjoy your work. And I look forward to reading what you come up with. Okay, thanks.